Welcome, my dear students. In this particular session, we are going for the next, the flow meter in the measurement of flow, and that one is called, as I told you, this is pretty important, and that one is called Venturi Flow Meter. We are going to study about this particular flow meter in a detailed manner, my dear students. Okay, now we are going to start this particular flow meter. Okay. Now Venturi Flow Meter. The first very important thing, the points that you have to remember is it is also one of the head type, means it is also a head type of a flow meter, my dear students. Okay, it comes under the head type of flow meter, and here also it moves. Okay, it works on the principle of Bernoulli's theorem, my dear students. Okay, here, okay, here. So this is another one where I'm going to tell it follows also the Bernoulli's theorem, my dear students. Okay, now very important thing that you have to know, it works on the principle. Okay, generally on which principle it is going to be acting, means it works on the principle, okay, that by reducing the cross-sectional area of the flow passage, a differential pressure head is created. Okay, a differential pressure head is going to be created over here. Okay, that I'm going to show you in a detailed manner, my dear students. Okay, and this differential pressure, okay, is proportional to the discharge through the pipe, my dear students, and this differential pressure is maintained, that is discharge through the general one that I am going to tell you itself is discharge through the pipe. How these things I am going to explain in a detailed manner, my dear students. Okay, so before going here, very important thing itself is you need to, okay, this is the Venturi flow meter, my dear students. In this Venturi flow meter, okay, here it consists of the three sections. Okay, one is okay, here it is called, this one is called throat, and this one is called upstream, and this one is called the downstream. Okay, here area, velocity, and the pressures are corresponding to this one here, and here at this throat, the A dash is the area and velocity is V dash and pressure is P dash. Okay, means as I told you that this particular, okay, Venturi flow meter consists of the three important sections, my dear students. Okay, now we are going to learn the particular concepts based upon over here. Okay, see here, one more important thing itself is that Venturi flow meter consists of three sections. One is the converging conical section, which I told you, that is this one, converging conical section. Okay, and the second one is a cylindrical throat. This is a cylindrical throat, my dear students. And third one itself is the diverging, okay, the diverging recovery section at the outlet, okay, at the outlet. Okay, here what I'm going to tell you itself is see, this one here I'm going to call it as a, this one is a, first one is the converging conical section at the upstream. Second one here itself is, if I'm going to call, this is a throat. Second point itself is the cylindrical throat, and third one, this I'm going to call itself is a the diverging recovery outlet. Okay, that is a cone. This is also like a cone at the downstream, my dear students. Okay, here one more important thing is that why we are going for this particular, okay, the Venturi tube, means Venturi tube is almost all, okay, it is also similar. Okay, it is also almost all similar to the orifice plate, but there are certain changes that are going to be happened over here. Let me discuss those things in a detailed manner. Here the equation, what is the equation? Okay, based upon the formula, that is pressures, and this is P1 and P2. Here it is rho, this is rho, my dear students, density rho 1. Okay, density, and here phi equal to, this is a formula, that is this is expansion ratio, this is velocity of approach factor, this is the area of the outlet, and this is acceleration due to gravity. This is delta P1 minus P2, which is nothing but this is what delta P, my dear students. Okay, so this is a, that is a volume flow rate formula, my dear students. Okay, based upon this particular volume flow rate, so okay, we are going to calculate the, okay, in the Venturi one. Okay, here one more important thing, my dear students, itself is that there is a certain parameter, okay, that are pretty important. Okay, the certain parameters means see, you are going to get certain equations. Okay, so this is the general Venturi meter, where in the previous, okay, in the previous okay, in the previous okay, that is diagram, I'm going to get this function, this Bernoulli's equation. Now, here I told you that what does the Venturi meter consist of? Venturi meter, as I told you that it consists of how many sections, my dear students? It consists of the 3 sections over here. Okay, see here. This is the first one is converging conical section, cylindrical throat, and a diverging section. Already have shown in the previous one. Okay, here that is the same thing. Okay, this diameter here, the parameter C here. Later I will explain the next slide. This is D. This is pressure difference is P1 and P2. This is at the upstream, and this is small d as the throat. This is the angle. Okay, here this is the diverging section. Okay, and this is converging, and this is the cylindrical throat. Okay, now based upon here what are the parameters that are present, we are bringing back each and every parameter in a detailed manner. Okay, that's the reason here what I told you that the converging conical section, okay, means converging cone consists from the diameter d at its upstream to the diameter small d at its downstream. Okay, as means it is moving from the diameter d at its upstream to the diameter d at its downstream. See here, this is at the upstream, this is called capital D, and here downstream is, this is at the throat, this is a D, my dear students. Okay, as the flow, as I told you that the flow, okay, takes place in the convergent cone, the velocity increases and the pressure decreases. It's very, very important. As the flow takes place in the convergent cone, okay, in the convergent cone, the velocity increases and pressure decreases. And the convergent cone, this is pretty important, has a sharp angle of how much, means this is the angle 21 plus or minus 2 degrees, my dear students. Okay, now this is the Venturi tube. Okay, in this particular Venturi tube, okay, this is a, see, as I told you, that is a previous formula based upon the pressures. Now in terms of areas and velocities, okay, this is the area E, that is velocity and pressure P1. This is the height. Okay, the difference between these two heights, this is okay, pressure P1 over here, and here the pressure P2 here, A2 is throat over here, and V2 is the velocity that is coming out over here, and P2 is the pressure coming over here, and that is density of the liquid is the based upon here inside what is the density of the liquid. Okay, based upon all these particular parameters, I will bring back one more formula for the volume flow rate. Okay, so before going for that, I told you that how the throat will be there. So what happens at the throat? Okay, it is a small portion of a circular pipe in which the diameter is kept constant always. That is a small portion. This is the diameter is always constant in this throat. Like this, it is a door. Before this, it is like this, and after this, it will be like this, my dear. In this section, the flow velocity here, very important thing, that is very neither increases nor decreases, but is in steady state. See in this, okay, as I told you, in the cylindrical throat, the velocity should not be increased or should not be decreased, but it's maintained a steady state. That we have to know what happens in the throat section. Okay. Now this is a general Venturi tube. Okay. How it is operating means this is a throat, my dear students. This is here. This is converging, and here it is diverging. Okay. Here it is. This is nothing but we are going to take the differential pressure, that is P1, and here itself is P2, and delta P equal to P1 minus P2, my dear students. Okay, now here the downstream, as I told you that the diverging section, the downstream of the throat comes from the throat D to, that is D. Again, here the D to D means here it starts. See, as I told you that this is a section like this. This is a section. Okay, now it will be like this, and it will be like this. It will be like this, and it will be. This is D, and this is D, and again it is D, means this is called converging and this is called the diverging. That's the reason the downstream side of the throat examples from the D to D. So here what is the angle of divergent cone means, again 5 to 15 degrees. See the convergent cones and angles in the desired, that is divergent cones angles, you have to limit. Okay, and it results in pressures recovery. It results ultimately in the pressures recovery. Here the formula. Okay, the pressure at different locations I am going to measure. By knowing the pressure at differences, we can calculate the flow rate. Okay, how to calculate means Q is equal to, again, the expansion ratio, velocity of approach factor into already I told this particular formula in the previous one only. Okay, and here what is Q? Q is the flow rate. And I told you that instead of B in the previous, I have taken B. In case of head type flow meter, here I have taken as phi. Okay, and he is the velocity. A2 is the area of the cross section factor. Here rho 1, I am going to take it as a rho 1, that is the density, and this is a pressure differential. This is nothing but like this. Okay, pressure differential is equal to P1 minus P2, and G is the acceleration due to gravity, my dear students. Now here using. Now here I'm going to take that particular, that is Venturi tube only. Here I'm going to call it as this pressure delta P equal to P1 minus P2. Okay, this is the throat, my dear sections, and this is the converging, and here itself is a diverging. Now based upon the areas, that is pressures and velocities, you are going to get the one more formula. Here it is pretty important, my dear students. What is happening over here is pretty important. Listen here. Okay, here the pressure is P1 and velocity is V1 and the area is A1. Okay, here the pressure is P2 and the velocity is V2 and the area is A2. So when the liquid passing out from here, that from this the diverging cone, what is happening means, the conditions that always the area A2 means the area of the throat is less than the area of this water, that is a convergent cone. Okay, and here velocity V2 is much greater than, means see, the velocity at the throat is more than the velocity at the convergent, and P2 is less than P1, means the pressure, okay, I'm going to tell you itself, is always, okay, less than P1. Okay, here what happens, okay, see, at this initially here there is no change in the velocity, it keeps constant. So but when it moves out from this particular one, then what happens, okay, then automatically the velocity increases. Okay, so here increase in the fluid speed results in the decrease in internal temperature, decrease in the, that is when it is then the, when it is coming out from the throat, my dear students. Okay, now the pressure, okay, the pressure tappings can be placed at the upstream entrance to the convergent cone and at the, that is throat. So these tappings I can keep at the upstream entrance and the to the convergent cone and at the throat. See here the pressure tappings. Okay, where I kept the pressure tappings, this is the one pressure tapping, and this is the, this is at the upstream and this is at the throat, my dear students. The flow rate equation, here also the flow rate indication is represented by one more equation. This is pretty important, my dear students. See, this flow rate equation is very important. And what is that expression? See, this is very important in terms of areas. Okay, A1 A2 by under square root of 2gh by under square root of A1 square minus A2 square. A1 is a cross sectional area, okay, of the, what is A1? Cross sectional area at the inlet, cross sectional area of the throat. H is the difference of the pressure head in tube. G is the acceleration due to gravity, my dear students. Okay, and what are the advantages of this one? Means it is a simple in construction and low pressure loss, and a good reliability, and no means Venturi is also simple, the pressure loss is very less, and it is having very good reliability, and no moving parts are there over here. Okay, here also what kind of liquids I can prefer when I'm going to pass through the Venturi meter, means clean, dirty and viscous fluids also I'm going to be, okay, and I'm going to be send some slurry also. Here also, what is the range accuracy? Okay, I told you that the range accuracy is okay, the range accuracy is again here 4 is to 1. Okay, 4 is to 1. Here also, what is that is I'm going to take it as a, okay, accuracy is 1%. Okay, and as told you that the, what is the discharge coefficient? Approximately 0.98. Here also viscosity effect is high and the cost is medium, my dear students, but cost is very less for the, okay, orifice plate. This is the general Venturi meter, okay, that is used. Okay, just I'm going to depict you the picture how it will be there. Okay, that is a Venturi meter, my dear students. Okay, and this is used in the laboratories, the Venturi meters experiment in the laboratory, my dear students. Okay, so with that, the disadvantage itself is the Venturi tube having a high cost and it is in larger in size, my dear students. Okay, it can measure flow velocity, so it can measure the flow velocity in the form of circular, square and rectangular pipes, my dear students. Okay, with that we had completed about the session, and in the next session we are going for the numericals, that is based on the till now that is a completed concepts in the measurement of flow under head type flow meters. We have finished about the head type flow meters, we have finished about the orifice plate, and we have finished about the Venturi meter. Now we are going to solve the problems in the next session, my dear students. Okay, thank you.